love wiffle ball. No other way to explain it. Just something about the game, the feel of the grass, smacking that ball all over the field, making plays, diving head first, whatever it takes to get the job done. That's what wiffle ball means to me. Striking out grown men, watching their knees buckle on a called third strike. Sit out, bud. And then, of course, the home runs, the base hits, the big home runs at the big moments. That's a whiff of greatness. Join us all season long for the Joe Aguirre story, a CMG podcast.
Hello and welcome to John About the G-Man. Special John About the G-Man. It's just me today, Big Jace, and I'm going to be going over my mock draft, my final version of the mock draft for Thursday's first round of the NFL draft. I'm excited. It's been going on. We've had trades, moves. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get down into it. Here we go. Starting off, first pick. It's plain and simple. It's easy. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville. This is going to be the future for the Jacksonville Jaguars, along with Urban Meyer. And Trevor Lawrence is just the guy. He is the guy. All he does is win. He's a phenomenal physical specimen. He's got the mobility. He's got the arm strength. He's got the wits about him. He is the guy. He's obviously going to be number one, and he is going to be the franchise guy for the Jaguars down the line. And I'm sure he's going to find success, especially with Urban Meyer. We've seen what Urban Meyer can do at the college level. I expect him to come in and those two to be a solid quarterback and coach duo. Now, let's get into the pick number 2 because it's going to cause a little bit of controversy. I got Justin Fields. It's always been Trevor Lawrence 1, Justin Fields 2, and the gap has been small. I don't understand how Justin Fields was the number 2 guy at the end of the season, and then all this stuff has happened. A couple workouts have happened, and he's fallen all the way to possibly end of the first round. It's ridiculous. Justin Fields is the guy. You need to get it. The New York Jets need to do themselves. I love Zach Wilson, and we'll get to Zach Wilson in a second. Justin Fields is the guy. His toughness, his ability to make plays, his mobility. He's going to be a solid QB in this league. I don't want to hear any of that Ohio State stuff, like the Ohio State curse for the quarterback. No, Justin Fields is new. He's going to get it done, and he's going to have success. He's a solid quarterback, and that's what the Jets need to do. Then at number 3, this is where I got Zach Wilson. I'm from Utah. I'm obviously a big BYU. I like BYU. Zach Wilson is really, really good. I think San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan would have a field day with this guy. I think he deserves to be the 3rd quarterback off the board, not the 2nd. He's a student of the game, very smart, loves to study film and look at ways to bring up his game and make his game better. So I think he will be great, especially in a situation where it seems like the 49ers are going to go with Jimmy G and have a guy sit a little bit. Zach Wilson, the only real downfall I have for him is obviously the level of competition. And then at that Coastal Carolina game last year, he had faced a lot of pressure, and he did not look well under that pressure. So that's something I need to see from him. I think him going to San Fran having a year. I mean, he's going to get snaps if he goes to San Francisco because of Jimmy G's injuries. So I think if he goes to San Francisco, waits, doesn't start right away, learns a little bit, and then when he does eventually come in, he will have success. But he's not the second best QB. I love Zach Wilson. I think he will do great. I think these top 3 QBs are destined for greatness and going to be solid QBs in the league. But Zach Wilson, he's not the number 2 QB. That's Justin Fields. Now, let's take a break from QBs and as we move on to Atlanta. And you got to go Kyle Pitts, the best pass catcher in this draft. He's just a freak of nature. The way he moves for his size is insane. The things he's able to do, it's just wild. The only downside is the concussions. And, I mean, with a tight end having to go over the middle, having to line up against linebackers and taking those hits, that's going to be problematic. But I think with his skill set, it's obviously worth the risk. And we've seen tight ends struggle with injuries and still come out okay, especially Gronk. I mean, Gronk's the prime example. So I think Kyle Pitts, Atlanta, they're not moving away from Matt Ryan. They're going to keep Matt Ryan. I mean, they obviously have a bunch of good receivers. And now to add another weapon, being able to let Matt Ryan just get the ball out there, I think this is a good fit. Kyle Pitts is there. I mean, we saw what Matt Ryan could do with Austin Hooper. Now he's got an even more athletic, more dominant tight end. I think Atlanta is going to make up for the problems they had last year. Now, back to the quarterbacks. I mean, no, number 5, I got the Bengals taking Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell, this dude's a beast. He is a monster. I've watched a lot of film of this guy. I can't say enough good things about him. He's a beast. The one play that really stands out was I was watching him with the read option with Justin Herbert at Oregon. Justin Herbert didn't even have to read anyone because he saw Penei Sewell 20 yards down the field with the defender. So he just run behind him. I think a team like Cincinnati with Joe Burrow coming off that injury, we all saw that scar that made the rounds around the internet and went viral. That scar from the ACL injury. I think you have to give this man insurance because Joe Burrow has shown he can compete at the NFL level. He was neck and neck with Justin Herbert for Rookie of the Year before he got injured. So I think you give this man insurance. You give Joe Burrow insurance because he's your future. And now you got this nice big tackle. You can run behind him. He can pass block very well. He's just a stud. And have him and Joe Burrow, it doesn't matter who you have at wide receiver. You're going to have enough time to find the open guy. Now, at 6, I got the Miami Dolphins taking the first wide receiver off the board, Jamar Chase. He's a stud, obviously sat out this year. I do personally think that Devontae Smith should come off the board before Jamar Chase, but this is the way things are seeming right now. And also, a little side note, I'm going to take this off the screen. A little side note, all you people making mock drafts, don't be cute with it. I get it. Yeah, you got to actually think as the team. Penei Sewell's going to the Bengals. Jamar Chase isn't going to the Bengals to be all cutesy. They already got Thaddeus Moss from the LSU team for Joe Burrow. They're not going to go out and get Jamar Chase. Don't give me that crap. And then the Dolphins aren't going to pick Devontae Smith just to reunite it and then pick Najee Harris. No, don't get cute with it. It's a mock draft. Think about what's best for the team, what's best for Miami. I think they're going to pick Jamar Chase here. Just solid stud. I mean, he broke a bunch of records in that 2019 season. Then Devontae Smith turned around and broke them this season. And let's get to Devontae Smith at number 7, Detroit Lions. Devontae Smith, you bring in a wide receiver for the newly acquired Jared Goff, especially after you lost Kenny Galladay. You got to do that. You have DeAndre Swift. So I like how their offense is shaking out. You could make some upgrades on the defense, but a wide receiver like Devontae Smith is too good to pass up. This guy could be the next Calvin Johnson for Detroit. I just hope he finds his success there because he is really, really good. I mean, Devontae Smith led the Alabama in receiving 2 years in a row. The first year he had Jared Judy, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle. There were all these stars, and he was still the one that was just a little bit better. And now he is still just a little bit better than everyone else. I think he is the best wide receiver in this class, but I do think Chase will go before him. But so here he is at the Lions. Number 8, Carolina Panthers. They obviously made the trade for Sam Darnold. A lot of people thought with this pick they'd end up taking like a Trey Lance, a Mac Jones here. But, I mean, they traded for Sam Darnold. The GM has come out and talked about possibly moving this pick. So I think they keep it where it is, and they take a guy like Patrick Surtain. We obviously saw Chin, solid rookie last year. I like Derek Brown, their defensive tackle. I think he'll start to really work and do well. So bringing in a Patrick Surtain, a lockdown corner, the best corner in the class, to really amp up that young defense for this Matt Rule, and you just let Joe Brady run wild with Sam Darnold and try and get Sam Darnold going and have Joe Brady really take over the offense. These young guys on the defense would be very solid for the Panthers. And last time they went to the Super Bowl, it was behind a tough defense, a tough, strong defense. So maybe Matt Rule is trying to get that back. Now, number 9, Denver Broncos. This is where I have Mac Jones going. I just think you need a guy in Denver. Nothing too spectacular. Reunite Mac Jones with Jared Judy. I know I just was talking about being too cute, but I actually like this fit. Denver isn't – I don't think Denver's really made to have that guy who to bring in that quarterback to come out and be spectacular. I think Mac Jones is a perfect fit. Go hand the ball off to Melvin Gordon, be able to make those passes off the play action to guys like Jared Judy. I think Mac Jones can come in and be very serviceable. He doesn't have to come in, throw for 300 yards every game. He's just got to come in and get the job done and put the Broncos in positions to win football games. I think if he can do that, which Mac Jones has shown, I think the Broncos should take him here. It's really going to be the defense for the Broncos with Von Miller that's really going to need to actually win them football games. But Mac Jones is good. He will not lose you football games, and that's a big thing for the Broncos. No turnovers, staying safe. And I think Mac Jones is a solid fit to be the Broncos QB down the line. Then number 10, Dallas Cowboys. We obviously saw Sean Lee retired earlier today. Shout out to him. I know I'm a Giants fan, but still, he was a great player. Always injured, but he was a solid player. I hated having to see him go up against the Giants. I'm not going to have them fill that hole. I guess they could. You could see like a Micah Parsons here come in, fill that spot, but no, they need a cornerback, and I think Jace Horn's the guy here. Caleb Farley is another name to look out for. He's got some injury problems. Jace Horn's played very well. I mean, especially against the competition he had playing at South Carolina, the guys he faced, Elijah Moore, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, LSU, Terrence Marshall, Jamar Chase. I mean, he's played against all these great receivers, and he's done very well. He's held his own. So I think if the Cowboys are smart, they get Jace Horn to really be that lockdown corner for themselves. Then we got Big Blue number 11. This is the one I'm going to spend the most time on, Micah Parsons. Now, I have spoken a lot about Micah Parsons and how there's been a lot of question marks with him. especially locker room stuff. There's some stuff that has come out about him in the locker room while at Penn State. And, I mean, it's rough. I think that's more so on the coach. I think if Micah Parsons comes into the Giants organization, gets a nice coach, I think Joe Judge can whip him into shape. And he really is what the Giants need as far as defense goes. I know he's a linebacker. In high school, he played DN. He was moved to outside linebacker coming into Penn State, then moved into the interior as well. So this guy can move around a lot. He's very good at getting the quarterback, very underrated. He's his ability to get to the quarterback is very underrated. He's very good at blitzing. So I think Micah Parsons, you get him, and I think Joe Judge can whip him into shape, get those behavioral issues taken care of. Steve Risser, big Penn State guy. Yeah, he is great. He is solid. I think he would be a great addition to the Giants. Really fill the void of that pass rusher because he is a solid pass rushing linebacker. But now let's move on from the Giants. Staying in the NFC East, you got to go Jalen Waddle here if you're the Eagles. They're lucky that Jalen Waddle's fallen this low, but they need that number one wide receiver. Jalen Raegler, Travis Fulgham, those guys aren't going to cut it. You need a guy like Jalen Waddle. Also, Jalen Waddle's a solid kick returner. So just having another explosive player who can get points on the board for you. You need that. And also, he didn't play a lot. He didn't play with Jalen Hurts, but still there's that Alabama connection. So I like Jalen Waddle here. Get it done. He's the best wide receiver, and the Eagles, that's their main necessity right now, is wide receiver. Now let's go to 13. Chargers, Rashawn Slater. Obviously, you had Rookie of the Year, Justin Herbert there. You need to protect him. One thing I didn't mention with Penei Sewell, I'm going to mention with Rashawn Slater, the top three guys in this draft class, O-linemen, they can play any position, really. They can go from guard to tackle. Rashawn Slater can even play center. I think he's solid. I think you get that insurance for a young QB like Justin Herbert. Like I said, the Bengals need to do with Joe Burrow and get Penei Sewell. I think the Chargers got to do the same. Get Rashawn Slater, protect Justin Herbert, and once you get that protection for him, you can start building weapons and start building yourself for success. They don't need to look defensively because they have a lot of injuries coming back. Got to remember that. Deshaun Williams is coming back, and so I think they're all set. You just get that protection for your future QB. Then, number 14, I got Minnesota taking Elijah Vera Tucker. Another solid guy, another guy that can flex anywhere. He's pretty big for a guard, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up moving out to tackle, but he's very, very good. Me being a Utah fan, I mean, you can see it back there, the Utah banner. Me being a Utah fan, the real game that sticks out to me is him in 2019 against Utah. Utah, they had a solid D-line, and he was one of the main reasons why Keaton Slovis had so much time to get the ball out of there and why USC ended up winning. He's a solid guard, and that's what Minnesota needs right now. Him being able to have him lead the way for Dalvin Cook, I think will lead to good things for the Minnesota Vikings. Now 15, New England Patriots. This is a big one. Trey Lance. Trey Lance, I mean, he's a solid quarterback. 2019 FCS season, he did not throw a pick, which is huge. The real reason I like him going here to the Patriots is we saw what Bill Belichick was able to come up with for Cam Newton at the start of the season last year. But then Cam Newton ended up getting COVID. And, I mean, COVID's real. So that obviously affected him. But Cam Newton was playing at an MVP caliber because he was able to run with the ball. Trey Lance, just as mobile, but the big thing is he's even more accurate. Did not throw a pick in 19 games in 2019. He takes care of the football, very mobile. I like the Patriots to get him here. And I like Bill Belichick to carry out the similar game plan to what he had with Cam Newton with Trey Lance, but Trey Lance will take care of the football more. Then here at 16, Caleb Farley going to fill the void that was left by Patrick Peterson. I mean, there wasn't really a void because Patrick Peterson was playing pretty bad. But, I mean, he's still going to be a solid corner, help out with that Buda Baker, help the defense. I mean, the defense, it looks pretty good on paper with Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, Buda Baker, and now you just need a solid cornerback help out in the pass game. And I think Caleb Farley can be that. He does have some injury questions, though. So that might be an issue. That's why he's dropped. But I think he should be good. And I think he's solid. And I think Carolina is going to have that one cornerback that they need for a while. Then 17, I got Gregory Roseo, defensive end from Miami, opted out this past season. Last year, in 2019, though, he had 15 sacks. He's a beast. The Las Vegas Raiders, they really need that D end. Max Crosby in 2019 had a very crazy year, but obviously couldn't bring it back this past year. So I do think a guy like Roseo is a beast, and he will fit well for John Gruden. Help out that defense because that Las Vegas defense does need a lot of help. Now let's move on to 18. Miami Dolphins up for their second pick. You got Trayvon Morig, solid safety. Can do a lot for the Miami Dolphins in pass coverage and in blitzing. He is better in pass coverage. I think he is. He will be solid. You can also see them take an outside linebacker, something like a Zaven Collins or something to fill the void of the Kyle Van Noy release. But I think you go here. He's just a big stud and can really help out their secondary for Miami. Then for Washington, you got Christian Darrisaw. He's going to be that solid left tackle. He's a great pass defender. I mean, he's great against the pass rush. Not the best against the run. I'd like to see him improve a little bit more on that. But he's solid. He's very raw. He's got the physical is build. He's got the size to be great. I think he just does need to develop his run blocking just a little bit more. Great in the pass protection, though. Number 20, Kadarius Toney. I think if someone like a Trey Lance or Mac Jones falls, this is the farthest they're going to fall because the Chicago Bears, Andy Dalton's not the answer. But right now they need to retool their wide receiving core, especially with the big loss of AR-15 now Robinson. So they need to, Kadarius Toney. Also, Kadarius Toney is also like another guy they had, Cordero Patterson. He's a guy you can move around a lot. He did line up a lot in the backfield for Florida, so I like it a lot. Also, great kicker. He can also return some kicks and punts for you. So I think he could be that one Swiss Army knife for the Chicago Bears. Then we got the Colts with Kwity Paye. I got them going here. Their defense was good. Really, the Colts all around were good. The only real thing going into this next season is obviously losing Phillip Rivers. That's the big thing. They could also go wide receiver. I think that they do need that. I do think they need to upgrade there as well. But I think a guy like Kwity Paye, bring him in. He's a guy that you might be. He's got with his size, he can move into the inside. Obviously, played D end at Michigan, but he could be solid, and I think he will be solid for that Colts D line and help that out, because that is the weak part of their defense right now. They do have one of the best defenses. The Colts get a pass rusher. They got a top 5 roster. I agree with that. A lot, Steve. The Colts, they do need that they do need a big pass rusher. I do also think they do need a solid wide receiver as well. But I like Michael Pittman. But I think Kwity Paye's the way for the Colts. 22, Tennessee Titans. I got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, outside linebacker for Notre Dame. He's very, very good. He's an outside linebacker, but not necessarily the best pass rusher. I feel that he is better against the run and in pass coverage itself, going out to the flat. But the big thing here is you could look away from this, pick something else up for Tennessee. But I think Bud Dupree's injury, and with that signing, I think you have a guy like him come learn behind Bud Dupree a little bit, get to know something like that. And then you have a solid outside linebacker for the future, and him playing on the other side of Bud Dupree would also be great for Tennessee as well. Then you got the Jets, second pick of this draft. I got them going Najee Harris. I think it's obvious with the hiring of Robert Saleh. They're going to be more defensive minded, but I think with this draft, you get the quarterback, you get a solid running back. You obviously went out, you got wide receivers in free agency. So I do think you let the coach figure out the defense, and you take all of this offensive talent right now and you throw it and you make it try and work as best it can. Because I think if you do have a solid defensive mind, you can compete in games a lot quicker. And I think the rebuild will be a lot slower, but you need those solid pieces on offense. And I think if you do that could really help out the Jets in the long run. Then I got another running back coming off the board for the Steelers, Travis Etienne. That's been the real big problem, I think, especially last year. Not being able to run the ball, not being able to set up the play action, not being able to with Big Ben, he's not great. He's not going to be able to be as mobile as he used to be. His knees are, let's not even get started about that. But he struggled. I think you need to have a running game when you have a quarterback as old like that. So I think Travis Etienne's the guy, and he's also very, very good at getting out in the pass game as well. So I think he can come in and be like, I don't want to, I'm going to say it, another version of like Le'Veon Bell. Pronounced Etienne. Yeah, Etienne. I've heard it both ways, Jared. So Travis Etienne. We'll see draft night, but that's where I got him going. Remember, Jags on the board again. I got Jalen Phillips. This guy's really, really good. It's crazy. We're going to have number 15 from Miami going in the same draft. Transfer from UCLA to Miami this past season. He played really, really well. for the Hurricanes. He is solid. A lot of people are saying he's even better than Roseo and Kwity Paye. I disagree with that, but I think he will be great. I think with the way the NFL is nowadays, I think if you're starting to rebuild on the defensive side, you got to start with a pass rusher, because we've seen how big a pass rusher can come in and make an impact. Look at Nick Bosa. Last year, everyone counted the Niners out, thought they were going to be bad, and you bring in a guy like Nick Bosa. Obviously, there was a lot of other stuff they brought in with like Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think Nick Bosa and that being able to get to the quarterback is very big in the NFL, especially nowadays. Then at 26, Cleveland Browns, just amping up that defense with Greg Newsome, the second from Northwestern. That's been their real problem, I think, is their secondary. They obviously had Myles Garrett. They added Jadeveon Clowney. So I think they get a cornerback like this. Offensively, I don't actually see any way they can. Their worst position offensively, in my opinion, is their quarterback, and they're not moving on from Baker Mayfield anytime soon. So you got to go defense, and I think Greg Newsome, the second's probably the best defensive player still left on the board for them. Then at 27, I got the Baltimore Ravens taking Elijah Moore. This is a guy a lot of people have dropping. I like Elijah Moore, though, second in the SEC and in the nation last year in receiving yards. He's really, really good. I think he's cut from the same cloth as DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown. I mean, I'm not just saying that because of where he's from, because of Ole Miss. He's a physical he's just built different. Like, if you look at him, strong. The one thing, though, I think the one reason why he's not getting enough attention, like A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf, is his size. He's only 5'9", both A.J. Brown and DK, a little bit over 6 feet and over. But I think he's solid. I think he will be a solid wide receiver in this league. And Baltimore needs that. Baltimore needs that wide receiver to look to and for Lamar Jackson to know to throw to. Then another wide receiver coming off for the Saints, Terrace Mitchell Jr. Solid wide receiver. He was the third best of the big three, being Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and then we had Terrace Mitchell here. But he's still solid. He's still really, really good. You got Saints obviously don't know if they're going to go Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, but with Michael Thomas being injured most of last season, I think you need that another young guy, and I think Terrace Mitchell is the best fit for that. Young guy that can come in and give you that production. Well, he could be the wide receiver one. Well, if Michael Thomas gets injured again, or it could be that solid two. And then the Green Bay Packers, I got Jamin Davis here. Kentucky, defensively, they were solid, and a large part of that was because of them. The real reason they weren't winning games in last year was because of their offense. Defensively, they were really good, and this man was the man in the middle, the man, the real heart and soul of that defense. So bringing that in to the Packers, helping out the defense, making sure helping out the defense is big, because that will help Aaron Rodgers be able to win football games for them. Then we only got a couple more here. Buffalo Bills, Zaven Collins, nice pass rusher. He's a stud from Tulsa. He's really, really good. Not a lot of people giving him the respect he deserves because he was playing in the American. He's really, really good. A solid pass rusher. And I think the Bills do need that because they were getting in a lot of shootouts. And like I mentioned earlier, in this league, to compete defensively, you need a pass rusher. And David Collins is a solid one. Then Baltimore, they just traded for this pick. They trade away Orlando Brown. I think they get a different version. They refill the position they left in Tevin Jenkins. Boy, if you look at this kid, this is a baby-faced killer. I mean, he wears glasses. He's a baby face, but man, he is violent. And that's what I'll say about him. He's violent. He is a beast. Run game, pass game. I think he will be a solid addition to Baltimore's offensive line and help out Lamar Jackson stay healthy and stay safe. Then to end it out, I got Tampa Bay Bucks taking Christian Barmore here. Christian Barmore's beast, best defensive tackle in this draft. The real struggles for the Bucks this past season with the regular season was when they didn't have Vita Vea, the big man in the middle, being able to eat up those blocks for those linebackers to make the plays. And Christian Barmore, he will do that. He will do that well. And he's also very good at getting off blocks and making plays of his own. So I think you bring in a guy like Christian Barmore, help out the Bucks, and it should be great. But that's going to do it for my mock draft. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tune in to Drawing About the G-Men on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be doing a mock draft. All four of us, myself, Joe Aguirre, Sean Scanlon, and Kingsley, we're going to be doing a mock draft, but we're going to make it a little bit more fun. I will be taking over the NFC East and AFC East teams. I will be GM for them. Joe will be GM for NFC and AFC East. I am GM for NFC and AFC West. Sean's got the North, and Zay's got the South. So that should be fun. Might even work in some draft day trades. Also, make sure you check out Sports Talk with R&J, where Steve Risser and Justin D'Onofrio, also on Wednesday at 1, they're going to be doing their mock draft. And Keys to the City, whenever they go live, make sure you follow them because Trevor and Ted also got mock draft. It's draft season, baby, and we got a lot. There's a lot to talk about, a lot going on. It's almost here, and I'm excited. But thank you guys for going through this with me. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check out John About the G-Men on Facebook, on Twitch, Clovercrest Media Group on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter as well. Make sure you check us out. Also, if you're not looking for a video podcast, you can get John About the G-Men wherever your audio podcasts are. iTunes, Spotify, wherever. But thank you for watching, and enjoy the draft, and we'll see you Wednesday for the normal episode of Drawing About the G-Men.